after recording the video you're about to watch, I found out that there is a current allegation against Greg. This allegation involves the grooming of a minor. Now, as of yet, the exact specifics, or some specifics, are known. She's told her story through messages to somebody and through a notepad. However, we don't know when those messages were sent. We don't know if... We just don't know. There's nothing to back up what she's saying as of yet. So I'm not going to address it in this video, obviously, because I've only just found out about it. And I'm also waiting until we've got more information before I do address it. I'm one of these people, I very rarely jump on things before I have all the information. And there's a reason for it, is I don't want to make snap judgments without having the appropriate amount of proof that I would need to back up what person A, B or C is saying. So I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm not saying that Greg's innocent. I'm just saying that at the moment I'm not happy with the proof that's out there, because he's saying one thing, but then again he would. The girl is saying something else, but the other person that's involved in the situation hasn't said anything. And I pray to God she doesn't do what she did with the whole Billy situation, where she dealt with it privately and not online, because people need to know. I also hope that there is more to come, because I need more information before I go ahead. And I don't think I'm the only one. I do know several other bigger YouTubers are looking into this and are hunting down the information, and they have a better reach at doing that than I have. They have a better ability at doing that than I have. We'll just see what comes over the next, say, month or so. If there is an update on this, I will obviously update you. But as it currently stands, I'm not going to address the grooming in this video, because I'm just not sure where I stand, and there's no point in me doing a video without having all of the facts and without having all of the information I need to be able to explain my point of view, if that makes sense. Hello guys, if you hear anything in the background, it's my husband. He's downstairs, he's just having his dinner. So, sorry I took Christmas off. I wasn't planning on doing, but the video that I did have banked sort of needs another video to go with it, which I'm recording today. Also, I just wanted really to spend time with family, because we spent part of Christmas down and on, and then we spent a bit with his mum and dad, and then a bit with his brother. And we saw friends and spent time together, which after last year we sort of needed. So, it's video day, and I actually have 6 videos here to record, and like I say, I have one banked that was going to go live over Christmas, and then there was kind of another element to the story happened. So that video will be going up this week. I'm just not sure what day it'll be. But I do have 8 different videos to do. And 2 of them I can technically bank. One I might do as an extra. The one that's banked is sort of like a sister one to one of these. The first one I'm going to do is Onision. One of my least favourite people. Most of you know I'm not the biggest fan of Onision. I was a fan for a short period of time, and then I started seeing through his bullshit, so I was like, right, okay, this guy really is a bit weird. So I distanced myself, and now I'm doing videos and I'm seeing the actual effect that the way he behaves has on people. You have to speak. Now, I know Reps covered this and then he got in trouble because he actually put Greg's real last name in the video because it's attached to the court documents, so they could prove that they were his. But Greg's tried to do a privacy complaint, so I'm not sure if the video's still up. I think it is. If it is, it'll be up in the iCard. And he just basically went off on Onision for what he'd done. Now, I'm going to go into what he's done, and then I'm also going to go into his current behaviour, which is a bit puzzling, and then I'm also going to explain why just because he's behaving at the moment doesn't negate the shit he's done in the past, which I will go through. So, okay. These are notes, by the way. Shortly before Christmas, Onision was in court with the Washington State because of ruining wetlands at the back of his property. Now, Onision's primarily living the house he lives in, not the one he records in, the house he lives in. The house his children live in, the house his partner lives in, has a wetlands at the back. Now, wetlands are a very, very delicate, very, very necessary ecosystem, and it's something that Washington State protect quite distinctly. Now, Greg decided he wanted to change the back garden. Now, whether it was done because he was worried about the kids getting into the wetlands, or whether it was done because it was worried that the trees were damaged, or I don't know. He's never actually fully explained himself. But he was cutting down trees, he was cutting down brushes, and then he was putting that, plus other things, into the wetlands, which is essentially pollution. I know naturally it would happen, but not the amount that he put in at the same time. And we're not just talking about a couple of things. He actually had a vehicle, I've forgotten what they're called. It's very similar to a tractor, where he was pushing trees that were still upright into the wetlands to get rid of them. That one of his neighbours recorded, which is probably one of the most damning things. Now, while he was doing this work, he was told several times to stop. He was told by neighbours, he was told by the county, and he was told by the state to stop, because what he was doing was harming a very, very sensitive and very, very prized part of the ecosystem in that area, because they are losing so much wetlands, so they're losing a lot of species that live in those wetlands, and he completely ignored it. Now, they were giving him every opportunity not to do what he was doing, but he continued. And he was like, well, I should be allowed to do it because it's on my property. No. When you have a property that's that big, and within the grounds of that property, if there is something that is of a delicate ecosystem, the state can actually come in and prevent you from harming that ecosystem. Because we need all the ecosystems we can to try and prevent as many species from going extinct that we can. So, he went to court. He thought he was in the right. He thought that the state was just overreacting. He ended up with a huge fine. Now, the figure that Rep said was 90,000. I'm not sure if that is 100% true, but I do know that he's been told he has to pay a fine and he has to fix the damage that he's done. So, bear in mind, he already owes the IRS for overclaiming on his taxes, because when he was claiming his taxes, he wasn't just claiming business expense, he was claiming both cars when he only used one for recording. He was claiming both houses when he only uses one for recording. He was He was claiming the money spent on petrol for both cars, but that's got nothing to do with it. And the amount of stuff he was claiming for that he shouldn't have claimed for, he claimed for, and because they realised what had happened, he actually owes the IRS money. He actually owes the IRS tax because he claimed for more than he should have done. And he said, well, the website didn't tell me. It's like, that's why if you have any type of a business, if you have any type of financial income from anything that we classed as self-employed, which is YouTube, writing, live streaming, webcams, anything like that, you are best off with an accountant. So, and it's like, he doesn't like relying on people, and it's like, yeah, but that's what an accountant is there for. Yes, you pay them, but then you don't end up with huge bills like he has with the IRS. Now, after this happened, he started a GoFundMe to raise money, in his words exactly. I'll pop the tweet here. Let's make these wetlands the best wetlands possible. Well, if you'd just left well enough alone, there won't be an issue. You know what I mean? He also removed the video he had, which was called Organic Man, where he was actually chopping down the trees, where he was actually destroying the wetlands, where he was putting things in the wetlands. But it was too late because they already had it in court. So, now, let's go to his current behaviour, which is, at the moment, is extremely positive. He's extremely positive, even though if the figures that are out there are to be believed, he's nearly enough 600,000 in debt to the government. 500,000 to one and 90,000 to another. And if that is true, then that's a hell of a lot of money he owes people. So he's being extremely positive. He's liking tweets from people who are critical of him and who are haters. Somebody actually tweeted, I can't believe Greg actually liked my tweet about him, where he was criticising him. And he said there's either something wrong, or I've got the tweet here. There's either something wrong, or he is a genuinely nice man. But he also said, I can't believe he liked the tweet instead of blocking him. And then he liked that tweet and then said, I don't block anymore. And then as a response to that, I put, well, I haven't been blocked yet, but time will tell. And he liked that, which was a bit weird.
Totally see the Oreos all around the outside, and I think it looks really cool. And we're just going to use a couple coats of spray lacquer.
But you know, now I do hope he's turning a new leaf, but every time I've said this in the past, it's turned out not to be true. Because he'll act all nice, he'll act all apologetic, he'll act like he's, you know, that he's extremely sorry and that he shouldn't have done what he did and that he shouldn't have said what he did, but then he goes and does it again, and 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 again. So we'll just have to wait and see, but so I'm sceptical, just to put it mildly. There's also possible that it's emotional manipulation, where even though he's got all this stuff going on, he's saying, no, I'm fine, but he is pushing the GoFundMe, he is pushing his Patreon, he is pushing things that you have to pay to enjoy. He is pushing for stuff like that, but he's acting like it's fine. It's like he's pushing for money. And he's like, you know, we might lose our house, we might lose this, we might lose that, but I'm trying to keep an upbeat behaviour. It's like, Whether it's emotional manipulation, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. One never knows. But we also have to remember who we're talking about. Greg has a bad reputation for a reason, and here are several reasons behind it. He took a 17-year-old person to another place. I think he actually took her to Canada, where she could get married to him without her parents' permission. Rated the bodies of underage girls in a forum that didn't have a note saying that you couldn't be underage in the post, and where it was not enforced in any way, and even his moderators had issues with the whole thing that he was doing, where he was grading these girls, if you will, because they couldn't say for definite that those children were over 18. So, he admits that he likes his girls underdeveloped, which he did on a live stream with Blair. He verbally handed a woman, without knowing exactly what was going on behind the cameras, meaning Eugenia. He did a video telling somebody to do their research and literally calling her a cunt multiple times, and saying that if she'd gone to Iraq and she was raped, she'd be forced to carry the child, when the woman he was on about was transgender. And if he'd have done even a monicum of the research he claims to have done, he would have known that. He's repeatedly claimed that a former friend and colleague, and a much popular YouTuber, was a paedophile, while presenting zero evidence to back him up, saying, oh, it's a gut feeling, and a bullshit article that said that these are all the signs of a paedophile, but they're also the signs of a normal man. Normal men can be secretive. Normal men do lie. Everybody lies. He says that people who suffer depression due to abuse, that it's their fault for letting the abuse get to them, when that's the whole point of depression. It's nobody's fault. It's caused by one of 1,000 things, including chemical imbalances and abuse. Gives out details of exes, including criminal and medical records, because they hurt him and they rejected him. Showed up at VidCon with a bulletproof vest on and acted erratically. And this was a long time before the Christina Grimmie incident. And it scared the shit out of people. And then he wonders why he's banned. He revealed personal details of a relationship with two people that were once his friends that were no longer his friends, and then gloated when that relationship fell apart, saying if she'd listened to me she wouldn't have got her. And it's like, people in relationships very rarely listen to people that are saying I'm just trying to help you, because they don't believe it, and they believe the person they're in the relationship with. He's possibly done a lot more. We just don't know about it, and there's no evidence to back it, so we can't say for definite that he has. There are a lot of speculation. What else is there? And then there's the fact that he is possibly linked to the people that are harassing and were blackmailing the Josh show. Josh, if you go to his Twitter, he actually put on that one of the people that are on either Greg's Discord or Patreon is actually one of the people that's harassing him. So, is this a new Leaf? We don't know. Is this a new Greg? We don't know. Is this Greg making amends? We don't know. The thing with Greg is he's clamouring for any form of relevancy that he can. That's why he did the whole Shane thing. That's why he accused one of his best friends, former best friends, of abusing people. Because he's clamouring for relevancy. When you look at his figures, for the amount of subscribers he's got, the figures he's doing are bad. And he can blame YouTube until the cows come home. He can say it's YouTube's fault until he's blue in the face. It doesn't make any difference. At the end of the day, yes, people who do certain things do get hit by YouTube. I get hit by YouTube because of the stuff I cover. But with Greg, it's because of who he is as a whole that he gets hit by YouTube, and that he gets hit by a lot of others, because he's a nasty piece of work. And while, yeah, he's acting all nice and spy, and yeah, he's being really, really good at the minute, doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. And it doesn't mean it's going to continue to go that way. When this has happened in the past, he starts acting up again. When that'll be, I don't know. But it's possibly, if not probably, going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, that's it for this video. I will be keeping an eye on Greg. I do check in on his Twitter from time to time. If anything happens, then we'll talk about it a bit more. But let's just hope he behaves for at least a couple of months. Stay safe, be good, have fun, and I will see you very soon. Okay, this has been added in after the fact, because I didn't know about this. Primarily because I don't watch Greg's videos. Because very much like John and Joy, his voice grates on me. So I do sometimes watch his videos, but 9 times out of 10 when I digest things, it's usually through somebody else. And I've watched a video today. Part of the video did sort of pee me off a little bit, but the part where this information comes from is Greg was talking about a video that was done about the situation, that was done by somebody he's had issues with in the past, which is Repsia. For those that aren't aware, Repsia and Greg have had a past for the last, I'd probably say, 8 years. And he said, this person whose video has 1 million views tried to blackmail me after my divorce. Now, I wouldn't say I agree with everything Rep does. I do say that sometimes I think he can be overly harsh. I don't think that the name calling works in any way. I don't think that it's a good idea. I don't think it helps him in any way, because a lot of people just dismiss him because of the name calling. But I also understand why he gets so aggravated with Greg, and part of it is because there is such a long past between them, which the other Repzilla doesn't seem to understand, which is where I found this out. So apparently Repsion blackmailed Onision after the divorce because of a debate they were supposed to do, but Repsion pulled out, probably because Repsion thought, well, there's no point, which there wasn't, because everybody else in the stream was on Greg's side, and the moderator, the person who decided who spoke, was on Greg's side. So that's why, I think that's the reason why he pulled out. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I wouldn't put it past Repsion, but Greg is known for lying. So, and he's just basically being catty for being catty's sake. I have noticed this is a common thing with Greg. He's bitchy for being bitchy, for the sake of being bitchy. He acts more like a woman than I do. That says something. So yeah, back to the rest of the video that I recorded earlier today. So, yeah, oh god.